Welcome back to Keep Expecting Miracles. I am Ilissa.
And I'm Jessica.
How are you doing, Jessica? We're back.
We are back after a crazy weekend for me. I did a lot, but I'm good. I'm feeling so happy to be here recording. And, it's like a time to decompress,
Mm-hmm.
talk therapy. So I'm good. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good. We record on the Mondays, so Mondays are kind of for me, but also the mornings. I'm not really a morning person, and so that doesn't work when you have two young babies that like to wake up before 7 a.m. So I have to always recalibrate myself with
Mm-hmm.
tea or coffee or breakfast. I have my incense going, my music playing, just to let the frustration leave me because I'm always like, I don't like waking up early on a Monday, but thank God I'm
Yeah.
awake.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So so what
That's
did
the
you do this
struggle.
weekend that you were
I lived about 10 different life forms, 10 different lives
how?
over the weekend. So on Saturday, I went to Disney World and then I went to a dinner party. And then on Sunday, I went to MegaCon and then I went to a birthday party and then I went to the pool. So I'm like, usually you choose one of those or maybe like one activity per day. But on Sunday night, I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
what a packed weekend.
Yeah.
And
That was
I
a
was like,
lot.
I actually wouldn't have had it any other way. Like it was good. It was fun. Yeah. What'd you do? Did you get to relax?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like to go out and but mainly relaxation. The weekends are when I sleep in. Um
Mm-hmm.
so of course that happens, and then we went to the fair with the kids
Oh,
on Saturday.
yay.
So that was really I'm like it's so hot already.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile,
Mm-hmm.
there's snow. New York is getting hammered with snow, and it's like 80 degrees here in Florida.
Glad I'm not there.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, thank God I'm not in a place where it snows.
Watch it from a
But
distance.
yes, yes,
I look the I was thinking I'm like I'm blessed to not have to wake up early in the mornings during the week. Well, I still got to wake up early, We doing the same thing, taking the kids out, right? And that's already rough, but it's the waking up and getting dressed. Getting yourself dressed, turning your mind on and being ready to, go on with the day.
yeah,
That's what I did on Saturday and Sunday. And I was like, oh my gosh, I am so grateful and blessed that I have been able to manifest and be gifted this lifestyle that I can like ease in,
mm-hmm,
even if it doesn't necessarily feel like that, in the
yeah,
mornings, rushing to get the kids to school.
yeah, yeah,
But yes, I'm, love the topic that we have for today.
yeah. So, we are starting as we explained the last couple episodes. We have a series. We have different series that we're going to be talking about during this season. And so we're starting our new series. We're expanding on a topic from one of the topics from last season, which is ancestral healing. So we want to explore that more, and we have a special guest for one of our episodes for this series. So we're excited that we'll be able to interview her very soon. Um and just dive into what ancestral healing is like, and what it feels like, what it means to us, the importance of it, and the role that it's played in both of our journeys. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we're just going to get right into it.
Yes, yes. Ancestral healing is so important. Um, I feel like I say a lot of things are important because they are. But like this is crucial because if we don't know our past, you just kind of feel lost. But you, Alyssa, you have done like such a good amount of like research, I feel,
Hmm.
with discovering like who you are, who your family is, right? And
Mhm.
experiencing and discovering who your family is, you've been able to uncover different pieces of yourself, I feel like, right? Like what research have you done?
Yeah, so that's what we wanted to talk about for our I am segment of just learning about our ancestors, learning about our family members and what that looks like for us. So the I am segment, if you're not familiar with our segments, I know we explain them every episode, but we want people to be familiar and get used to our different segments. So this is basically just everything that represents us and our full divinity of being divine goddesses of healing and light, and just self care topics. And so today we were just talking about, we want to talk about learning, researching. And so, yeah, Jessica, I have always had the inquisitive spirit, inquisitive mind about, um, family and where I come from and just the different sides of it. I have, like all, Black people, African American people, pretty mixed cultures. Both my mom and my dad's side. Obviously, we're Black, but we have different heritages and different backgrounds within that Blackness. And so I just went on Ancestry.
Hmm.
And luckily, I have other older people in my family that also went on Ancestry and did a lot of work before me.
Mm-hmm.
But I just filled in my family tree, asked, like grandma, what are your mom and dad's names and when were they born? And um asked my dad, and my dad, unfortunately, his father passed away when he was a teenager, and so he doesn't have a lot of the information.
Mm-hmm.
um but we still are able to fill in things and get information just because other family members.
So were you able to like piece things together for him?
Well, it's so funny that you say that because I was able to piece, so ancestry.com, you can either, it's there's two parts of it to make it one whole. You can do the DNA, or you can just do the
Mm-hmm.
family, or you can do both. And so I did the
Mm,
DNA
okay.
with the family tree, and a lot of his cousins popped up on mine, like, oh, this person's your second cousin, this person's your first cousin, this person's the third, whatever. And those people on there have Native American indigenous heritage,
Wow.
specifically from tribes here in Florida, like the Seminole tribe in Florida. There's
Wow.
another one I can't remember. Please forgive me. I can't remember the name of it, but his cousins, they have, they can trace, like they can trace themselves to indigenous people here in Florida. And I'm like, dad, and so they have, it's so crazy. So they have benefits through the Seminole tribe. Like they have free,
Really?
they can stay at the Hard Rock Hotel for free, like
Oh shoot.
hotel, like they get all kind of perks, all
Okay.
the perks that the native, that the native people get here if you can like
Mm-hmm.
match your DNA. His cousins get. So I'm like, dad, you need to do it. Like, I'm sure you have it in you if these are your first cousins. He's just like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, I don't need that. We don't need that. I'm like, but why? What? So I was able to piece together stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
he's not willing. He's like, we're Black. I don't need to claim that. We
Mm.
don't need that. That's them. That's something. I'm like, okay.
Aw.
So it's funny that you said that. It's funny.
Yeah. Well, I was asking that because I've gone on to ancestry.com too, and um as I've mentioned in our private conversations, I have to get so much information because my family just doesn't do it. They don't go on there and upload anything.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well, I need this person's name. I need that person's name. Whose child was this? And how many kids did this person,
Yeah.
And so between talking to my dad and then speaking to his brothers and then speaking to my aunts, um, I've been able to like I've pieced things together for myself. I haven't like relayed anything to my dad, but
Mhm.
I'm looking. I'm like, oh, like this can tell. You end up telling a story and like finding out so much more about the people who made you who you are,
Mhm. Yeah, you're
which is so
absolutely right.
cool.
You're absolutely right. It's It's a good thing. It's a good thing. I know a lot of people, like I've encouraged my husband to do it. He's not really into sending in the whole DNA thing, but I'm like,
Hmm.
you can still get on there, like find out who people are, find out who your cousins are, like the family tree on my mom's side. So on her dad's side, my mom's dad's side, like I traced it back to like back to the 1800s.
Wow.
His family, they came here from the Bahamas,
Okay.
and obviously they show, so the way ancestry does is if you put in your DNA, like it shows you like, okay, obviously we are descendant of African people.
Hmm.
So, their slave ship was, you know, taken to the Caribbean islands. And so all of those islands, it shows different places that they were in the Caribbean. So the Bahamas, or, just different like St. Lucia, or just different islands. And then it will show you even before that. So I don't know, there was I have an ancestor that they're black, but they're from England. So I don't know if
Oh,
they were
nice.
how they were in Great Britain first. And oh my gosh, I'm talking about my aunt. This is the
She's
one that
calling you.
filled it in. Oh my gosh, I wish I could answer the phone.
Oh.
She's calling me. I'm like, I want to answer. She might be
Oh.
butt dialing me,
Hmm.
but it's so funny that we're talking about that side and she's calling me. But shout out to Aunt Patsy, we love you. But so that particular family member, it was two people they came from England, and like they have their name, their occupation,
Mm.
and it's just like, oh my gosh, like wow, that you just don't think that. And then it's the same thing on my mom's side. So my mom's mom, she's from Panama,
Hmm.
and her dad is from Barbados. Her mom is from Martinique.
Okay.
So her dad is very, very. He looks like a white man, and
Oh,
his
okay.
family is from England too.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
and that actually shows up in our DNA. Like, my mom has 25% English and Welsh from Wales, and so it
Wow.
it comes up as like 21% for me. Like, I'm like, that's weird. That it's 25 for her and 21 for me, but it's like a
Hmm.
fourth of her DNA is like from England and Wales. I'm like, of course, look at your mom. Like my grandma's extremely light skinned.
Yeah.
So we're, like I said, we're all mixed up. But so, when I tell people, they're like, oh my gosh, you have royal blood. You're from where the royals are from. I'm like, I don't want to be claiming those colonizers. But it is what it is.
Well, look, take the incentive and let the rest go.
Right, exactly. I'm like, I know I was royal.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but what about you? I
That's so
know since you're
cool.
the main person filling it in, were you able to find a lot of stuff?
No. I know. No, because okay, so my issue that I've had with ancestry.com, and I love that the website has been created. I love that, something that's there that we can use.
Mhm.
Um but because I'm first generation American,
Mhm.
all of the information that I have about my family is in Jamaica. It's not like necessarily kept in a database that I have access to here from the States.
Okay.
So I was told that I need to go to Jamaica and then view records from there. Um, but, of course, my family has visited the United States. Like when, I grew up in New York, and so my mom would take me to like Ellis Island, and we'd go and look for the last names that are from our family, and
Mhm.
we would see the last names on there, but they weren't necessarily related to us,
Right.
um, because I've done a lot of footwork during COVID. I spent a lot of time, because we had a lot of downtime. So I spent a lot of time like trying to discover who I am because everything is just like you said, it's so mixed up.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
So I'm looking. I finally find a website, and the website is a Jamaican website, and it's like, here are the plantations that existed in Jamaica, and here's the time frame that they existed, and here are the people who worked on it.
Oh,
So that's
wow.
how, like, I went through documents and documents and documents searching for that just to see, okay, well, which side? Because after a certain point, the people who are currently living right now don't remember where like we originated, like where were these people working? And um I as the farthest that I got was just to find out that just to find out that our last names came from whatever owners that they had. And
Right.
that's
Right.
not just, it's let's see, my family is mixed with in Jamaica it's out of many one people. And so of course it's black. And this is I'm talking about my dad's side of the family here, not my mom's side. I have not done enough research on my mom's side. But on my dad's side, because of they're way more of a smorgasbord of cultures,
Mhm.
finding out that like Arawak and Indian and
Mhm.
even Indian from India,
Mm. Mm.
and they have African in there as well, and then there's Scottish, but they're
Mhm.
like, is it Scottish or is it Irish, or there's a
Mhm.
whole thing about that because
Mhm.
of my grandfather, my dad's father, so very recent family line. Um, his father was absent,
Mhm.
so his mother was my great grandmother, who I loved so much, and I remember her. She lived a long time. I remember her meeting her as a child. I spent a lot of time with her, and I remember her tall, statuesque figure, and her like she had this beautiful like brown skin. It was
Mm.
like a lighter brown skin, and she was just so beautiful, like had a great spirit about her. And I always
Mm.
felt like this deep connection to her.
Mhm.
Um, but I can't necessarily say what happened, like how her son came about, like what happened, but basically she was working at a hotel, and her, I guess maybe boyfriend or something, I don't know. He was the one that was from Scotland. This guy came over on a boat from Scotland or Ireland, and they had a baby together. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Um, he did not stay in the child's life. So my grandfather grew up without a dad, basically.
Oh,
So
wow.
doesn't, yeah, he doesn't have, he'd never gotten that, the culture from there. He grew up as a Jamaican, and his features just showed white. He looked like a white Jamaican.
Yeah, and he
And
was the
so,
only one?
yes,
So
which is
your
correct.
grandfather
Yes.
was the only, and you see, this is how you know that there's healing, and these conversations are very necessary. We're gonna go back to I'm sorry to cut you off, but I wanna make this
Mm-hmm.
point. There are so many things that had to happen in order for us to be here.
Mm-hmm.
That man had to travel to Jamaica from Ireland or Scotland, one of the two, to meet your great grandmother, to make your grandfather, to so your grandfather can make your dad, so your dad can meet your mom, and so they can make you, like, there's so many different, like, this person had to be here, this person had to be this person, and now it's me. Now
Girl.
I'm here.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
amazing. But keep going.
Yes. Yes.
Keep going.
Yes. Well, because it was all of that, like even my dad's brothers and sisters, my uncles and aunts, they're not really 100% about, anything that has happened. And then on my grandmother's side, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
So whole like there's a lot of tragedy in my family's story. There's a lot of things that's happened, and it's what sparked me doing that is not just I wanted to know exactly who I was, but without doing the DNA test. I ain't do no DNA test yet. Not sure if I will ever.
I
Just because
know.
I'm like, look, they might find out something about me and try to come look for me. Be
I
like,
tell
she got the
people all the
golden
time, if
DNA.
you've been in the hospital at any point in your life, they have your DNA, but keep going.
Okay, you said that before.
Especially if you've had a baby. They have
Okay,
your DNA.
fine. Fine. You're right. I mean, they do. They have my blood already. You're right. I forget about
Exactly.
that.
Exactly.
I always
If you were born in
forget.
the hospital, they have your
Goodness, I
DNA.
know. I don't like that.
It is what it is.
Okay, fine. Okay. Well, um, the one thing that I learned about mostly the crucial thing is that I come from basically a family of entrepreneurs.
Mm.
And I always wondered that about myself, like why am I always so unhappy in a job? Why am I always so unhappy? Like I literally, if I'm at work for
Mhm.
somebody, no matter
Mhm.
where it's at, even if it's my career in
Mhm.
teaching, I feel like I'm stuck in this ball, like I'm in this sphere and I can't get out. Like,
Mhm.
let me
Mhm.
break free.
Mhm.
And then, there were other things that I've had dreams about. And in talking to my family, come to find out these are my dreams, but they telling me about my dreams without me telling them, hey, I had a dream about this happening to me. This is
Wow.
stuff that I watch play out in my head that happened to my family.
Wow.
And I
Wow.
was like, if I did not talk with you, I would have no idea,
Right.
no way to piece together why I have this dream, or these dreams, which then put fear into myself. But like I started moving about my life in a different way because I'm like, oh shoot, like, can I trust people? Because it was like betrayal in the
Yeah.
dreams and like,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this stuff runs deep.
It does.
I'm like,
It
it's
does.
not, like, of course you have health issues that can run through your family line.
Yeah.
You have like your features run through your family line. But that trauma
Yeah.
and anything that your forefathers and foremothers have been afraid of and
The
have gone
fear.
through, like, yes,
The
that gets
fear
passed on
is
to
still
us.
there. It's still there. That's why it's so important. I don't think nowadays it's as stressed as it is like for us to know where we come from, know our history, know like the stories, know what happened, what went on, like because I think for a long time it was just like, okay, we watching movies that have to do with slavery, we were enslaved, we were, of despair, we were trying to make it work, we were struggling, and so you just want to get that out your mind. But there are little intricate details within those bigger storylines, within those bigger things that were happening that are in us.
Mm-hmm.
That matter, that makes sense. Just I mean, I think I've mentioned it on the past, the same exact, but it was the other side of that. The same exact thing in my career is, um, I well, obviously, being a nurse and being a therapist, I worked for other people, but I had a longing, I had a desire to create a business, but for some reason, it was just like, how do I do this? Like, do
Mm-hmm.
I leave modern medicine? Do I leave science and go straight into herbal? Do I go just all the way left and forget all that behind? And so, Sylvia had to tell me, like, no, you can combine the two. You have special gifts that can be combined, but you have to do work. You have to free your ancestors because there were very specific people that wanted to own businesses. They wanted to be out on their own and make their own money, but they couldn't. And
Yeah.
that feeling of being trapped, or that feeling of not having their own, or not being able to do what they wanted to do, still is inside of you. And so
Okay.
there's a block.
There
And those
is.
are the blocks that people talk about, like, oh, I'm trying to do this, but I keep coming up against something and it's not happening. Like, for me, I just couldn't see it in my mind. I
Mm.
couldn't break out of it. I couldn't, like, think about not being dependent on a job. Like, the paycheck is what keeps us going back to work every week,
Yep.
every day.
Yep. It is.
So it's like, of course I want to have money, so I'm going to go to work. I couldn't see beyond that. And so me doing my ancestry work, me starting my ancestor altar, it started with going on ancestry.com. It started, I printed all the pictures out from ancestry.com. Thank you to my aunts that just called me just now. They were
Mm-hmm.
the ones that put all the pictures up there, and filled in everybody's names and birthdays. And so I don't think what I mentioned was is I had to write out every single person's names on a piece of paper,
Oh, wow.
and people that I didn't know. Like, I don't know these people. I'm just writing in them, obviously my great grandparents, great grandparents, like all the way back to people from England. Like, I don't know what they did, but I wrote their names on the piece of paper and I said, "Thank you. Thank you for persevering, moving forward. Thank you for coming together and doing what you had to do for your family. And thank you, God, for allowing me to be here. And you are free. You are free. You are free." And so
Mm.
I think that speaks to the importance. One of the questions is, why is it important for us to know our history? And it's exactly what we're saying. Like, we have to know what it is our people have gone through or have overcame in order for us to move forward, in order for our purpose to make sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's
And
really
on
deep.
a spiritual level, I told you the other day that I went through this exercise because I realized that we can end up being the we're just another version of them,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're living their lives, they're praying and asking God, like, I need help with this. I want to be like this. I want to be like that. What if I could have this experience, you know? And it's like, even if they're not able to form the words, like they're having these desires and they're and want to express themselves in these more grand ways. And so
Mm-hmm.
what happens with each generation, we are a more expansive expression every single time.
Mm-hmm.
But what always comes back is if they have not completed what they felt like they needed to be here to complete, we can end up living that out. But then
Mm-hmm.
the question is that what we want? Do we,
Mm.
is this out also our goal? So this exercise was to just imagine all of our people, all of my people around me, and to let them be free. You
Mm-hmm.
can be free. I don't have to be the one to carry this out because you can now be more expansive in a
Mm-hmm.
more galactic or like you are now a spirit kind of way. Like
Exactly. You can
I
move
don't have to
on.
be
You
the one
can
to do
move
it.
on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I need to live out what I feel like I need to do and want to do in my own lifetime so that I don't
Exactly.
have to keep passing on, the karma. Like, I recently learned that karma is just a word for, I believe, a response or a reaction. Like it's the result of something that happens as the result of something else.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like to
Mm-hmm.
release that karmic expression, I don't have to be that karmic expression.
Right.
And discovering that for myself was like, whoa. So now I'm like, well, what do I want?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I love that we're doing this series right now because I feel like I myself am in this soul retrieval tunnel at the moment
Mm.
where I'm gathering myself, allowing
Mm-hmm.
the ancestors go to be themselves, release and fly on to where they need to go so that
Mm.
I here on this earth plane can pave my own road
Yeah.
and go from there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm glad you said, I'm glad you mentioned earlier, like talking to your current family members and, you know, finding out what happened. What
Yeah.
experiences have you had with that? Like talking to people, that are in your family now specifically.
Yeah. So recently, my cousin, she came to visit me, and my cousin on my dad's side, and she was just telling me the experience that her mom had with our great grandmother. And I was telling her the experiences that I learned that our great grandmother had, and she was like, like what?
Yeah,
Like,
what were they specifically?
so she um remembers, or from what her mom has told her, that my great grandmother, I describe her as this beautiful being that was amazing and, friendly and kind, whereas her mother remembers her as being mean and, not necessarily, being the kindest person to be around. And so I'm like, oh, but, I'm like, maybe she was going through things in her life that, has caused things like that to
To
happen.
happen.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just, I'm like, her mom is the youngest of the siblings. And so, the
Oh,
youngest of six kids.
okay.
So I'm like, you never know, with us being mothers and being bothered sometimes. By the time that one little one come around, it's like, okay, can you, I don't know. Like, patience is like very minimal. Um, but yeah, we were just talking, and she was able to gain insight on the family, and I was able to gain insight on the family as well, where we just pieced together a few things. It wasn't much, but
Mhm.
if we had more time to sit down and really talk and do more research together, things would
Mhm.
come through. Like for my husband's family, they actually have one, he's not really a genealogist, but he called himself the family genealogist. Girl, he has books and books and books that he has put together of their family's history. Now they're American, and so he has books, he has records, he has plantation locations,
Well, he
houses,
is a
names.
genealogist if he's put that together, though.
He right, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
might
Hello.
as well, might as well. Yes, and so they have like these nice bound books of their history,
That he put
but
together.
that he puts together. That he puts together,
Wow, that's
yeah.
so amazing.
It is, yes, yes, it is. I really want people to understand the importance of how it, though, find the information, but then you need to use the information.
Mm.
It's not just a, oh, that's cool and move on.
Yeah.
It's deeper than that, way deeper.
Well,
So
it can start off being that way, like it starts off as a curiosity,
you're right.
and
You're right.
then, um, I mean, I don't know if people watch it, but I watched the show like Know Your Roots
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
of the celebrities that go on there and do their ancestry, and they, travel to wherever, and they find out that their great, and some people start crying because they realize that their family were slave owners, or you know
Yeah.
in the Civil War for the Confederate. Like, okay, you should have known that was gonna happen. But some stories are like beautiful stories where their great great grandpa or grandma was like a beautiful singer, or just
Mm-hmm.
something that is related to them or unique to them, and they're like, wow, that's why I am the way that I am. But it is important. It can be overwhelming, and I feel like
It
maybe that's
can
why some
be.
people will find the information out and then like put it down.
Yeah, I have, there's I know, like, my grandmother, she's still living. She's 100 years old.
That's a
And my cousin
blessing.
and I am so glad that I didn't take this personally when this happened to me. But I asked my grandmother questions, and my grandmother said, "Why do you need to know this information?" And
Mm.
I said, "Okay. So we're not going to continue asking this question. I'm going to move on. So have a good day, grandma."
Yeah.
So I told my cousin about this, right? And she's like, I got the same answer. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh, so it wasn't just me. It's because she escaped from Cuba when
Okay.
Fidel Castro was coming about. So her finding out any sort of, like, if she were listening to us now, immediately she'd be up in arms. She'd probably turn us off. No, I
Wow.
can't. I'm not, because of the amount of
Pain.
trauma that,
Mhm.
yeah. And there was a lot of pain. Like, her father, my great grandfather, was murdered as a result of him coming into power and stuff. So I mean, I said before, it's a lot of pain. But I wanted to
Yeah.
ask you, with your career choices and um life choices, you know have you found that you share that in common with anyone that you've discovered?
Not that I can immediately think of. I have been searching. Okay, I have
Mm-hmm.
been searching for any sort of connection. Of course, not therapy. Like, but nursing, or specifically, nursing is an even though nursing has been around for the last 100 years too. It's like it would be midwifery or herbalism.
Yeah.
And so no, I haven't. I feel like that would have to be something that's communicated like
Mm-hmm.
via word of mouth or via storytelling.
True.
Because I mean, unless my great grandma in Panama was, something, I don't know, like I don't have occupations.
That's is that.
The only
Mhm.
occupations that I saw in the ancestry records were the men.
Oh, okay. But you know why? They were probably already doing the stuff you're doing.
Yeah.
Now it's an occupation in our day and age.
Right. Well,
But
exactly. I mean, midwifery it would have been like, a community thing. It wouldn't have been like occupation. It would have been like, okay, this person knows how to
mm-hmm.
do this, so this person knows herbs, this person knows how to care, this person. I'm sure
Right.
it's somewhere. I'm gonna have to find it. I really am. Because there has to
Yeah.
be a connection, because both of my parents were born via midwife.
See, yes.
That's not a
Yes.
coincidence.
No, it's not.
That's not a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to figure out where that connection is, because I know it's somewhere. I just that
But
is a discrepancy too. That these records are not foolproof.
mm-hmm.
Obviously, the men's occupations were recorded for a reason. Like, it's very patriarchally focused and based and centered, and you have to keep that in mind when you're searching things. It's not going to be the fullness of your research, which is why we want you to go deeper in terms of sharing stories, finding out information from the people that are alive in your family, and doing the altar work. Information can come to you, just like Jessica said, in the form of your dreams, in the
Right.
form of messages, symbols. Like, it's a all encompassing journey. And so, finding out names on ancestry in a database is just a small little, piece of the puzzle. So,
It sure
yeah.
is.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yes.
I know both me and Jessica share that. Like, I don't know a lot of my friends that have done ancestry and talk about that even,
I feel
a
like
lot.
you're
But
the only one
I know.
out of
I
all
know.
the people I know.
Yeah, I don't know anybody, unless people have done it and they just don't talk about it. But I mean, when I do stuff, I share it with people, and I'm like, "Oh, you guys should do ancestry," and they're just like, "Okay." Like, when I talk,
Mm-hmm.
even my husband, he has like no desire to do it. So it is something that happens out of curiosity, and
Mm-hmm.
it's something that just has to be in you. So we encourage you guys to find out,
Yes,
ask
find out who you
questions. I
are.
asked my grandma. It was so funny. I asked my grandma, like, I was trying to do my mom's birth chart, trying to do it,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, Grammy Billy, can you tell me what time my mom was born? What time you had her? And she was looking at me. She got so much sense. She was like, I am 98 years old and your mother is 63. Do you think I can remember that? I'm like, "Oh my gosh. No, sorry. Sorry,
That is
Grammy."
too
Like, I
funny.
I mean, maybe you remember 60 years ago what time she was born. I don't know. She's like, "I can't remember that." It's like,
Oh my
"Okay.
gosh.
All right."
That's
I
hilarious.
know.
I mean, she got a
I
point
know.
though.
I know. But we're going to move on to
Yes.
our next segment. We're so excited. We have a manifestation success story that we want to share for I Said What I Said. It's our segment where we share manifestation success stories, or things that we want to manifest, or stories that our listeners want to manifest, tools for manifestation. So this segment, I'm so excited that we have a listener's manifestation story that we're gonna read today. So Jessica, go on.
Yes. So we're reading my mother's story, talking about ancestors. My
Yeah.
own mother's. Um,
She is still alive
and
though. She's not an
she,
ancestor.
exactly, yes. Let me say that. Yes, yes. We got to make sure we point that out. Alive and well.
Mhm.
And she is an avid listener of our podcast, which I'm so grateful for. Thank you, mommy.
Thank you, Miss
And
Donna.
I'm honored to be able to read this story to you guys.
Mhm.
She says, have you ever felt like you were wandering, truly adrift, without a place to call home? That's exactly where I was 2 years ago. For a while, home was a constantly shifting perspective for me and my family. We were bouncing between hotels, and our belongings were in storage units, while what we needed to have were crammed into the back of my vehicle. The uncertainty was exhausting, and the constant feeling of being unsettled seeped into every area of my life. It wasn't just about needing a roof over my head, it was about the deep longing for stability, for a place where I could truly relax and recharge. At the same time, I was in constant pain because of my mouth. Imagine constant throbbing pain in your mouth, impacting everything from eating to smiling. That was my reality. Due to my pregnancies, especially my last one, bone loss ravaged my mouth, and even with dental insurance, the treatments were so expensive. Then, when I had none, I felt like an utter failure. Sometimes my battle against a throbbing ache was mind blowing, and I remembered one night. I was so desperate for relief, I actually considered trying to pull my own tooth. That's how bad it was. Every dentist visit ended the same way, hope dashed by the overwhelming cost. I knew I needed help, not just with the physical pain, but with the emotional weight of it all. So I turned to prayer, and for me, manifesting is a form of prayer. It started I started journaling, pouring out my desires onto the page. It wasn't just, I want a home. I wrote that I wanted to be happy and free from pain. These things, the joy and relief they would bring. But nothing seemed to change. I prayed, I journaled, I visualized, but nothing. I started to wonder if I was doing something wrong, if these miracles were just for the people, for other people. Doubt crept in. Was I being unrealistic? Was I asking for too much? Then, one day, my daughter encouraged me to share my needs and let others know what was happening to me. I felt overwhelmed and ashamed, to be honest, but I knew she was right. So I did just that. Friends and family reached out to me, and I was so grateful for them caring enough about us to want to help. Then a family member offered an opportunity, which was miles away, but it felt like a direct answer to my prayers, and I knew God had sent the help I needed. We were able to stay rent free in her home until we found our own home. And the dental situation, it was just as miraculous. A few weeks after moving, I found a new dentist's office in the area. It wasn't just any dentist. They were a school of fourth year dental students, so the cost was next to nothing. If I had to pay, it was within my budget. It felt like another piece of the puzzle falling into place. I'm still undergoing treatment on my way to a healthier smile. This whole experience has solidified my belief in the power of prayer and focused intention. It's not just about asking for things. It's about truly believing that they are possible and visualizing them as already being yours. I am going to truly, really say that keeping your motivation to ask for what you need and feeling like you deserve it is not easy. But with prayer and focused, it can happen.
Hmm.
That was beautiful. Yay.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Miss Donna, for sending that in, and thank you for
Yes.
reading that, Jessica. We are so happy and so grateful that your mom shared that story with us because it's very personal and intimate, and that's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful outcome and story. And
Hmm.
how was that for you
Yeah,
reading
it
it?
was good. It was good. I was with her through all of this. I didn't realize that during that time that she was suffering, with dental pain, that is horrible. We all know what that feels like.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and, it's the, it's hard not having a place to live. Like that's a basic need. And so it was definitely, trying times. And I am so happy that she can now share this is what I've manifested now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and just being on the other side of it. So it gives me hope to,
Mm-hmm.
like nothing is ever impossible.
Mm-mm.
Nothing's ever impossible at all. And
Yeah.
I'll heed her words and, with focused prayer, focused intention.
Yeah,
So,
and then letting people know. I think the advice that you gave her yourself is just letting people know, sharing the needs that you have.
and that came to me when I prayed about it.
Mm.
Also, like I was also in a lot of prayer about like what can happen, what can I do, what can I do, and um, it was people need to know.
Mm.
And I'm like, but my mom doesn't want nobody to know.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't want anyone to know, which I could relate to. Like it's that type of thing is can be a pretty um shameful situation really.
Yeah.
But we all get into situations where we need help.
Yeah.
And it's allowing ourselves to get the help, allowing ourselves to get out there no matter what anyone thinks,
Yeah, but
you
I
know?
mean, being I know you being, one of the people that did know and that was right there with her and them, and it's a heavy burden for
Mhm.
yourself to carry too.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah, it was.
so it,
It was.
it was helping you, release the burden, telling her to release it too, because just both of you guys carrying it, it was too
Mhm.
much. It was too much.
It was. Yes, I say it very lightly here on the podcast, but yeah, it was a very heavy time.
Hmm.
And um and just I'm so happy that she wrote in. I didn't think that she was going to send in something, and or even this to
Hmm.
discuss on the pod, but I feel like that's even more like,
Powerful.
yeah, that's just
Yeah,
another stage of the release.
it
Like
is.
it's done and I'm not turning back kind of thing. So
Right. Like that part of me is over. It's done. I
hmm
learned that lesson. Like I'm not going through that again.
yes,
I'm over.
I personally feel lighter after reading that.
Yeah, that's really good. So you're able to release too. I know, like, we want Miss Donna to send in now a something that you want to manifest. Miss
Yes.
Donna. Now that you sent it a success story, we want to read a story, that something that you want to manifest, so we can let our other listeners listen to it and send in the positive energy your way. So
hmm hmm
that's amazing, and we are so very grateful for that story. It's a lesson to all of us, like, just the things that we take for granted on a normal basis, on a daily basis, and just like not realizing the power of, ourselves and the Lord, and prayer,
hmm
and just persevering, and just knowing that things are, even though they might seem like forever, like, it doesn't have to be, you know,
Exactly.
it doesn't have to be forever. It's temporary. It's a season. It's Things happen for us to learn lessons. God doesn't want us to suffer always. So
hmm
that was amazing.
Yes, it is. It
Yeah.
was. So now we get to go on to our I Got an Herb for That segment
Yes, I got an
where we're
herb for
talking about
that.
your herb. Yes.
Oh, yes.
We're talking about
Yes.
Palo Santo.
Oh, yes. Palo Santo is plant medicine that is very, I don't know what I need to find out the connection, but my family is very deeply connected to it. Like, the women in my family, my mom, my aunt, my cousins, we have all been very attached to Palo
Mm-hmm.
Santo within the last, I don't even know, 4 or 5 years. Like, it's even so much so, like, we all circulate, like, okay, you got the Palo Santo, you got Palo Santo. I'm here buying Palo Santo. You need something? You need something? My mom was like, I'm here. How much you need? How much you need? Like, you need the cones, you need the incense, you need the sticks. What
Oh
you
my
need?
gosh.
It's so fun. I'm like, yeah, mommy, can you give me the cones? I'm out of the cones and I'm out of the incense. It's like we need this in our house, and if we don't have it, what's gonna happen? I don't even
That
know.
is too funny.
It's so funny. It's so
Oh
funny.
my gosh.
It's definitely
That's like
something. Yeah, it's definitely something. It's definitely so
that's
this segment is
hilarious.
where we share herbs that have impacted our spiritual journey. And so Palo Santo, as I'm saying, is very unique and special to me. It is known as Palo Santo means holy stick, or holy wood. Um, it's the Latin name is Bursera graveolens, Bursera graveolens. It's native to Central and South America, as I've already stated. My grandma was born in Panama, Central America, and so we have ties there. But it can help relieve headaches. Um, so pain relief. So it relieves headaches, stomach aches, arthritis, joint pain. And I don't know if is that just the smoke or is that prepared in another way. I think we need to look that up. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question. I
Yeah.
took it as the smoke because we really just light it on fire. But
Yeah, so I don't have
um,
it with me. I should. It's downstairs. I have it because it's
it's
in
in the
my
house.
main. It's in my house. It's in my main area.
Hmm.
But they sell it in the wood sticks, and so you light the wood stick and you use that smoke
Hmm.
to clear the energy, to clear your aura, to clear out negative vibes, to clean. Like if I'm cleaning the house, I'm lighting my Palo Santo, I'm opening up the windows, I'm turning on the fans. You use it in ceremony, at any type of ceremony. When you want to start and end something, you always want to cleanse everybody entering into the space. um so you cleanse the person from head to toe, to have them turn around in a circular motion, just cleanse, 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 cleanse. Let the smoke cleanse their aura. This has actually been researched to have anti-inflammatory properties, antibacterial properties. It can help you feel calm and reduce stress and anxiety. It boosts the immune system. It can help aid in your respiratory health by with um, colds and coughs and allergies. There's an oil that they make. You can put it on your skin, and it aids in helping your skin to not be dry or flaky. And it even says that it's an insect repellent. I do know that the smoke is an insect repellent.
Hmm.
Um, it is a planet of it's a plant of Pluto, South Node and Pluto. And so yeah, I think
I wanted to gift to you and our listeners um, some information that we found in the herbal book. The Herbal Astrology Oracle Guidebook by Adriana Yalis. Um, if this is your first time listening to us, um, I do have her cards. Sometimes we get our herbal information, the spiritual aspect of it, from our herbal leaders, spiritual herbal thought
teachers,
leaders,
teachers, yes,
teachers. There we go.
we were
Thank you.
both in her class. We took
Our
a cosmic
educators.
herbalism class with her, so we have experienced her
Hmm.
essence
And all of her
via Zoom teaching.
exactly. She's so divine. And we were like,
I
we got to see
know.
her in real time. We got to
I
log
know.
on now.
I know. We gotta get this information in real time, for real. No recordings.
Hmm.
Hopefully we can
Hmm.
meet her one day.
Yeah, I know we will. I see that. I see
Yeah.
it happening. I
Yeah.
could feel that. So, your family's so connected to this. And I do feel like I told you already that I don't share that deep connection to it when I feel it. I have more of a connection to the white sage, which is something you also put me on. But I have a connection to white sage myself
Hmm.
more than I have to Palo Santo.
Mm-hmm.
And there's it's hard to explain. I'm sure some of our listeners can relate. Like when you connect to a plant, it's like within, like you can just feel almost like an anchor is within like my torso. It's how it feels.
I have had,
So,
before Jessica reads this, I'm not going to go into detail,
mhm.
but I have had two very specific spiritual encounters with Palo Santo. One was a dream, and the other one was just lighting it in my waking life. And what happens when it's lit, and the senses, the heightened awareness that I get, just with my intuition when I have it lit in it around me. So I have a very deep spiritual connection and have had intense spiritual encounters with this. So that's, I just wanted to to preface that before she reads that. But go ahead, Jessica.
Yes, as you say that, I'm excited to hear about when, like, as your kids get older, what their connection is going to be like. Because even my oldest son, Jaden, or my only son, Jaden, he has a connection to white sage as well. So it's
Mm.
like
Mm.
when when there's something like in the family, like in our
Mhm.
blood, like it's there,
Mhm.
you know, and everybody can feel it. But okay, so excuse me, to shorten this a little bit because it is quite a bit of information. She does say that indigenous communities throughout Central and South America particularly use Palo Santo to cleanse bad air, which is bad energy and the evil eye, um, and which is also like getting rid of spiritual illness. She says that Incan medicine people used this wood in their religious rituals as a tool to neutralize negativity, rejuvenate the body, mind, and spaces, bring peace, balance, and good fortune, and achieve a better spiritual communication with their gods. Scientific studies now show how Palo Santo can help relieve stress and anxiety, stimulate circulation, reduce joint and muscle pain, and uplift mood and the immune system. It also has proven to cleanse the space, dispel bacteria, and act as an insect repellent. Palo Santo's medicinal qualities are very plutonic in nature, which means it's associated with the planet of Pluto, as it's powerful excuse me, as it powerfully cleanses malignant energy while being highly invocatory and perfect for strong intention setting. Palo Santo has a long history of use as a magic wand that unlocks innate gifts that have lain dormant, inactive, or blocked, like wisdom, intuition, and sight to see into the past and past lives. Palo Santo is a protective wand that grants us the power of unlocking innate gifts that have laid dormant, inactive, or blocked. Palo Santo, like the fox, is here to assist you as a spirit guide who helps you navigate the spirit world. The Szechuan foxes, native to South America, nestle among the desert forest of Palo Santo for shelter, living in symbiosis with these precious trees. Foxes are symbolic of the afterlife, invisibility, and the sacred trickster. Palo Santo neutralizes the venom of dark tricksters and alchemizes its poison into gold, becoming the sacred trickster. Palo Santo is here to remind you to activate your dormant gifts. You are a guardian of the sacred that has walked many, many paths. Know that you can neutralize the greatest of poisons and even outwit the smartest of tricksters.
Yes.
So,
Yes, I'll take it and receive it.
yes.
It's
Look,
good.
I'm like, hold on. Unlock dormant gifts. Where's my Palo Santo? Let
Thank
me.
you. No, girl. I'm telling you. Okay, so I have to share this. I'm not gonna share my
Okay.
dream, but
We going on to witchy shit, so go
yes,
ahead.
the witchy shit. This is where we share witchy shit. So Jessica and I were doing, it was, I don't even know. We were doing a manifestation. So we do recordings that we don't publish just so that we can have them for ourselves. It was a personal recording, in between us, things that we wanted to manifest specifically for our business, that is this podcast. Um and so we had it be like a ceremony. Um and so of course I have my Palo Santo, like we're lighting it, and it's late at night, and I guess I lit it too much or just right, because it literally like was a cloud of smoke that just like whoosh, and it went straight up into the air, and it made all the smoke alarms go off. It woke up everybody in the house. Like it woke up my husband. The baby stayed asleep. Thank
Oh, good.
God. Both the kids stayed
Yes.
asleep. But after that happened, so of course I immediately put it out. But after it happened though, this is the first time, so I have had this. Now I'm sharing this with the podcast because I usually don't. I've only told my husband and Jessica this. Nobody knows this about me. Maybe I told some people on the retreat because it happened while I was on the retreat. So when I was on the retreat, I was, we were meditating every day. We were in a state of purity, cleansing, alignment, hearing from source, God, whatever. We were hearing from the Lord. And so I would close my eyes and I would see people in thermal vision. Like I would see their essence or aura, and then I would see lights coming from them, like different color lights of their auras, like coming from their bodies. I'm like, what the heck is this? Like, do other people see this? Like, am I like? So I had to ask, like, do y'all see it? And everybody was like, no. Like, what are you talking about? I'm just like, okay, I can see that though. When I close my eyes, I can see that, and so I don't. It was only that time that it unlocked. Fast forward to like throughout after coast, because it's been 2 years 3 years since we went to the retreat now, so it would be very
Mm-hmm.
specific times, but it would be like after I did meditation, after I took a shower, or if I was very very relaxed. Well, fast forward to that night that me and Jessica were doing that ceremony, and the Palo Santo, I don't know what it did, but it turned on my thermal vision like forever now. Like I can't turn it off.
Wow.
And so now I can like close my eyes, and if I have somebody in front of me, like I can see that. I say it's thermal vision because it looks like night vision because I can see the person, but then I can see the colors of their aura.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what the heck is that? Like that's so weird. And
Superpower.
I had to say, because I'm like, I asked Donnell all the time, like, can you see that? He's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. Can you see that, Jessica? Like, do you know what I'm talking about? Does that happen to you?
No.
It still trips
No, it
me.
doesn't actually.
Huh? It does not?
It does not. No, the only time that I've ever seen colors, which I still, I have not really, but I almost kind of did, was after a meditation. And during the meditation, excuse me, I believe I had taken just a little bit of psilocybin, and I opened my eyes, and ooh, it was my ancestral meditation. I was releasing them, and I opened my eyes and I looked at a sign on my wall, and I started to see like the rainbow, like the sign is words. It says, "This is us. This is us, our life, our story, our home." And the words, the outline of the words, I saw like the prismatic, like the prism, RBG, red, blue,
Mm-hmm.
green kind of thing.
Roy
And
G.
I was
Biv,
like,
yeah. Yeah.
why is that there? I was like, what am I looking at? But no, I'm not. And you're not the first person that I've heard that says that they could see auras. Um, so I don't know, but I think that's cool. It's just like it's released. It literally has released a, I guess I don't know, a talent, a power, a something that we probably should be able to do, because we are not all living optimally
Yeah.
when we're just stuck in the way that things are.
Yeah.
So it's allowed you to tap into your natural gift.
Yeah. I feel like since that cloud of Palo Santo did that, like I can literally close my eye. Like before I would try to do and it wouldn't be there. I would have to put myself in that. But now I could immediately just tap into it and I can see
Yeah.
like, but I still don't know what it means. I feel like I can just see it. So I feel
But
like
see,
this
that's
is
the
so
power.
weird. I can't believe I'm telling this on the podcast. Like, this is so weird.
Girl, oh, look, now you see how I feel. I'd be like,
You're the one with the psychic gifts, not me. No, let me say that. Let me stop saying. I know. I
yeah.
mean, I know. I claim intuition. I claim knowing. My
Mm-hmm.
my psychic gifts comes in the form of knowing. Okay, I'm
Mm-hmm.
comfortable with that. I'm fine with that. When it comes to other stuff, I'm just like, I don't know how I feel. Do I want this? Do I not? Like, do I explore it? Do I dive deeper? What is going on? Like, so it's just weird that
But see, okay, the our topic for which you should right now is basically the tools that we use to connect with our ancestors.
yes,
Palo Santo is very clearly and obviously an ancestral tool for you,
yeah.
and it's almost like they said, "All right, now she's ready," and like phase one, activate. Give her the colors.
I
Like
know.
it's really connected you to. I mean, who knows? Who knows
Yeah,
what journey it's going to take you on now? Because
I know. Now
I
that I've
really do feel
shared
like
it,
that's just phase one.
now that I've shared it,
Yeah.
there's
Now that
still
you shared
time
it
to cut
too.
it out.
No, I think it's okay.
Oh, okay. Okay. But yeah, I mean, I know it's a gift. I'm very grateful. I'm not scared. I mean, because
Hmm.
it's just another way of seeing.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm very grateful, and we'll see what happens. But I guess that was just my moment of transparency because I'm usually not the one that's it's very hard for me with my Scorpio moon
Yes.
to share things like that.
Well, yes, but when it comes to talking about, I feel like when it comes to talking about our ancestral family, even it was not easy for me to even share that stuff about my mom too, because I'm sure
Yeah,
people have all their questions. Like,
yeah.
what were you doing? Blah, blah, blah. You know?
But it doesn't even
So
matter. They can't even ask them.
it, there's that. There's that. But it's we have to share things like that's the way that we have connected to
Hmm.
the people that we are using as our educators, our personal educators,
Right,
is
right.
because they are open, and things do get weird sometimes because we are living in moments in a society that doesn't see spiritual, or you know what, let me just say we're living in a society that sees spiritual aspects as black and white. It's
Right,
either Christian or it's
right,
Catholic or it's
right,
Judaism. And if it doesn't fit in within the parameters of those books and those practices, then it's the devil, you know?
right,
So
right.
that's why it's like, can we share this? But then when we come from these native people, we come from these early humans, we come from people who have lived before these religions were there, before these books were even written.
Exactly,
We don't know all that they could do.
exactly.
And
Oh, I
that's why,
know
like,
it's not the
we,
devil. I'm past that. I'm
yes,
completely past that.
yes.
Um, I think it's more so just having people know that thing about me. Like I would rather remain mysterious, you
And
know,
yes, I feel the same. Look,
in that way.
I'll
But
share
don't
here
have a
on the
podcast,
pod.
Alyssa, where you share stories about your
Hello.
healing journey, and then you.
But look, but a podcast, don't have a YouTube channel, don't have a business
I
with the
know.
stuff,
I
because
know.
I told you when I went to my daughter's school, I went to volunteer on Friday, and one of my friends, my mom friends, like walked in and she was like, and look, I had my not turban, it's not turban, my headscarf on, because I wear this when my hair cannot be out
Yes.
because it
Yes.
looks a mess.
I know, and I
So I'm
love
like
it. I
figuring out
forgot
how
to
do
tell
I
you that
make
I
it look
like
cute.
the
Uh,
adornment that you have. It's so cute.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and by the way, if you're on YouTube, if you're not watching on YouTube, you can find us on YouTube to see what we're talking about. So I walked in there, right, and I already had it in my head, and I'm like, I don't want, obviously, don't want people to think that this is like a religion kind of thing, or like, it's because it's usually people who cover their heads are, of Muslim faith, or, any other kind of faith. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it. I just want to normalize the fact that anyone can do this. So, but I walk in and She says, "Oh, I forgot. I'm having such bad cramps. I'm sure you have something for that." And she tells another mom that's there. She's like, "Yeah, this is Jessica. She's like a witch." And I was like, "Oh, I'm like a." I was like, "Dang, I guess I can't." I'm like trying to process that. I'm like, I guess I can't really get out of that
Yeah.
because I guess a witch is a healer or
Yes.
someone who has plants for something.
And that's what they were before they were called witches. They're healers. Healers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm still like getting used to the fact. I'm like, wait, but how does she know? I was like, oh shoot, like how do you know that I would have something for them? Hello,
You
you got
spell herb.
you out here now. You
Right.
want you telling people everything that you know now.
Exactly.
But I almost felt naked though. I'm like, wait, why is she calling me a witch? She knows I be having dreams. Like
Right. Right. Right.
so it is weird to just be out there and come out, but it's also healing.
Yeah. And I
It
think
can be. I'm still struggling with it right now though.
I know it's yeah, I feel you. I'll just say that I feel you. But
Mhm.
it's just it's a journey. We are. I'm laughing of Erica and Mila on one of their episodes. They were talking about how they're gonna have like a grand high witch like symposium where they invite like all their grand high witch friends together. I'm
Okay.
like, oh my gosh, that would be so cool. But like, we it's not something that we are like obviously taking lightly. We're not making fun of it.
Mhm.
And it's when you discover you have gifts, when you discover that you have abilities, like, we want to honor it more than anything. We
Mhm.
find it funny and because, movies, pop culture, society. But what we really, really have to do is dispel negativity and propaganda that is still very much alive in the connotation behind it. We have the power. We have power. We have magic that lives within our DNA. And we have to claim it. And this is a way that we're doing that right now on this podcast. We're reclaiming
Yes.
it and we are owning it. We're accepting it. We're being open about it. And we have to be open with what comes with that. So, with
Yes,
that being
exactly.
said, thank you guys for listening to this episode. We will share more. We had way more stuff that we wanted to share, but we'll share more. We're doing a whole 3 episode series on witchy tools. So for ancestral healing. So we'll share more on another episode. But thank you guys. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Keep Expecting Miracles. Go follow us on Instagram at Keep Expecting Miracles Pod. Follow our individual channels. I am at Ilissa Explains It All. Jessica.
I'm at Jessica the Brand.
Yes. And her business is High Vibe Herbals.
Yes, at
Um,
www.highvibeherbals.com.
yes, yes. Please go get some of her great teas and tinctures and my stuff is going to be coming out very soon, so look out for that. Yes, ISIS Maternal Health and Wellness. But yeah, please share the episode, like, comment, send us your manifestation stories at keepexpectingmiracles@gmail.com. We want to read them on our segments. Until next time, guys. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.